Originally, I enlisted in the Air Force out of high school in 1979 to serve my country and to travel. And have fun, excitement.
Yeah. Were you drafted or were you voluntarily?
Volunteer. This was by this time there was an all-volunteer force.
Where were you living at the time before you joined?
New Jersey. Summit, New Jersey, yeah.
And did you just stay in the Air Force, or were you? Did you go to any other services?
Yeah. I was enlisted in the Air Force until about 1999.
Okay.
At which time I applied for my commission in the Army Reserve as a nurse. That's what now I'm in the Army.
Okay. Where did you go to boot camp?
Base training was in San Antonio, Lackland Air Force Base, Texas.
Right. What kind of things did you do while you were there?
In boot camp?
Yes.
Learned the Air Force way of life, close order drill. At the time, the Air Force wasn't too hot on firearms, so we did very little firearm training, and just basically in PT.
What jobs were you assigned during the war?
I kind of wore multiple hats. My original job was with the special operations company I was with was contracting officer to go out and procure supplies and things needed to complete our mission. And then as time progressed, I also took on some special projects and also then wound up as the second in command of our company before we left.
So while you were over in Iraq, what did you do for entertainment while you were on missions?
Well, we were at a fairly large base, so we had there were various groups that came by. Kid Rock and Kelly Pickler came by on tour. A couple other USO shows. Those movies, and of course nowadays with the internet and everybody having sharing files and whatnot, so you were able to even borrow movies and stuff from buddies and friends, and keep yourself entertained. Reading.
You had interaction with the Iraqis, with the Iraqi army. Did you have any interaction with any other troops, Allied troops?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were actually attached to the Marines, so we worked directly with the Marine Corps. And also the Navy, and then some Iraqi Army people that were down the road from us.
Okay. From your perspective, how well were the Iraqis trained? Were they able to just go with you, or did you have to? Was there work involved in getting them up to speed with the missions?
Work to get them up to speed. Yeah, they were eager to learn, but they weren't used to American technology. So a lot of things like just maintenance of Humvees was, which involves a lot of computer diagnostic equipment and stuff. They weren't exactly familiar with. And of course, nowadays we think here in the States, computers are no problem. Most of you kids can look at a computer and somehow figure out how to bring things up or do something, and they were a little behind, but they were quick learners, and they were willing to learn, and they were good people. We've done more good over there in Iraq for nation building and letting the people experience freedom than the news will ever portray. I mean, we built schools. We've run medical clinics by a population vastly underserved. Dug wells, helped them rebuild their lives. I was there when the second round of elections were held. When in the first elections, the country was still pretty much split,
right.
The Sunni and Shiites. And other people were saying, well, I'm not going to participate in this democratic process. Everybody else said, no. And then they realized that the government was becoming successful. And when I was over there, the second round of elections, there was an amazing turnout. And then people finally realized that, hey, the system's working. we do have a choice in what we say and who we can elect to speak for us, and it wasn't, and would not have been possible without the Americans being there to provide the stability and to train the Iraqis forces to police their own people and country.
Right. You mentioned, after having your experiences in the service and especially serving overseas, what does freedom mean to you? Has that changed since before you went into the service?
No, it's freedom's always been. There's always been a price to pay for freedom. My grandfather served in the First World War in the trenches of France. My father served in the South Pacific, several places, Iwo Jima in the Philippines, and I believe Saipan. So I knew that there's a duty to be done at times. That's one of the reasons why I joined.
Right.
I said, serve my country and give back what the country gave us as being a grandson of immigrants.
Right.
So,
is